Sa kaugnay na balita, nauna nang ipinahayag sa Team Balitaan ni Ambassador Asif Ahmad ang kanyang malaking tiwala sa potensyal ng Pilipinas bilang isang economic giant ng Asia. Narito ang maiksing bahagi ng panayam ng talakayan sa Balitaan.
How does it help the relationship between the UK and the Philippines for you using the language, the Filipino, and the social media?
The way we do this is straightforward because, language, we are very fortunate because English is a universal language and is very readily spoken here in the Philippines.
Yes.
But I think if you learn the language of the country that you're posted to, then you get more signals. You actually get the feeling that people have behind what they're actually saying. And over here people switch between English and Tagalog mid-sentence. So this is an excellent way of understanding what is actually going on.
In the video that we have a while ago, we have our president talking about the business relationships, bilateral relationships in his visit to the UK. What are the developments of this visit of our president in the UK?
We certainly appreciated the fact that Pangulo Aquino came to the United Kingdom, and it really marked a significant stage in our relationship. We are the single largest investor here in the Philippines from the European Union. And if you look at the story of investment, we're now seeing investment from the Philippines going out to the UK, which shows that the country is getting stronger. But we need to do a lot more in bilateral trade. It's hovering at about £1 billion a year. There's no reason why it shouldn't be double that amount in the next 3 to 4 years.
And how is the relationship on matters of good governance going? I understand that you really support the campaign of the Aquino administration on good governance.
We believe that if you have good governance and transparency, then the first beneficiary of this are the people of the Philippines themselves. Because that way people know that where their funds are going and what benefits they're getting from what people are putting in. But foreigners like ourselves, when we invest, when we provide any kind of assistance, we want to see that it's being used properly and that it's having the desired impact. So I think it's as much for the benefit of the people of the Philippines as us to have this as hardwired into the country.
And you are also focused on education, Ambassador. How are you doing with the Shivning scholarships that you are giving to the deserving Filipino students?
Yeah, for 30 years now, we have been sponsoring postgraduate studies in British universities in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the rest of England. And what we do is each year we pick a certain number of countries where we want to enhance our program.
Yes.
And this year, I'm pleased to say, in the Philippines, we will double the number of students, take it up to 25 if we can find the right candidates. And the application opens on www.chevening.org from today. And what we're looking for are people who've got a decent degree now from the Philippines, 2 years of work experience, so that they have some maturity behind them. But on top of that, then we will pay for all the living expenses. The tuition is free. The only other requirement we have, dapat babalik sa bansa.
Dapat
babalik sa bansa.
Wow. And you also put in there a colatilla, potential leaders?
Yes. What we're doing is what sort of candidate are we picking? We look at people who are in science, in the legal field, working in administration, in LGU, or even in a company. And we're trying to see, will this person in 10, 20, 30 years be in a position of influence, decision-making, and real responsibility in this country? So if you look at somebody like Bobby Ocampo, now he studied in the United Kingdom. He wasn't a Chevening scholar, but he studied in the UK. Now he became finance minister of this country. So that just shows how education can, in the long term, create people who not only are contributing to their own country, but I think have an affinity for ours.
Yes. And how are the workforce immigrants in UK doing? On the last count, I saw 200,000 immigrants in the UK, or even more?
Yeah, I think if we look at the figures, we're probably closer to 250,000 now. But the term that I don't use in the context of the United Kingdom and the Philippines is OFW.
Okay.
We don't recognize this. I know it's valid as a definition for other purposes. These are people who happen to live and work in the United Kingdom. Some of them are British citizens. Some of them are married to British citizens. They're simply there on a bona fide basis, country this is. Then you also have the flights are increasing, between the two countries. But I think it's also to do with the fact that the natural beauty of this country is superb. But tourism the other way has increased as well. 30% increase in the number of people from the Philippines
going to London.
Yeah.
And one of their favorites is London.
Well, London, but I think the thing really is that for people to see more, to see Edinburgh, to see Wales, to see Northern Ireland, I would say that just like the Philippines, all parts of our country are attractive.
You are one of the countries that are really watching on the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro. How are you observing it, sir?
Well, this story for me began in 2008 when I saw an opportunity as the director for ASEAN to engage the United Kingdom in the process. So we offered our help at that time. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm very fortunate that I've come over here and I can see the significant progress. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're of course in a very interesting stage with the basic law being drafted, and people I know are going to be working very hard between now and the middle of the month to get this sorted out. This is crucial not just for the people of Mindanao or the indigenous people. This is crucial for the rest of the Philippines, because what I keep saying is look at the example in our country where in Northern Ireland for hundreds of years, there's this history that developed, but then we were able to solve it by creating a devolved administration.
Yes, okay. Your message, please, to our televiewers who are expecting maybe some good news, or your message to our viewers now.
Well, thank you very much. This is my first complete year in the Philippines. Many things have happened, positive as well as challenging. We launched a huge operation to help the victims of Yolanda and Bohol, and now in Zamboanga. Our interest is what every Filipino wants to, a country that develops, that country that invests in its infrastructure, the country where people's well-being improves through education, housing, and also being connected to the world. Because if you're connected with us, you're joining one of the biggest single markets in the world in the EU. So I see this as a broad relationship that over the next 10, 20 years will show that we treat the Philippines as an equal partner and not just a country where we think there's just development potential. You are influential in the world, and we want the Philippines to use that influence.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Asif Ahmad, the British Ambassador to the Philippines.